All right, Transformation Fitness and Wellness Fitness Professional Training Program Fulfillment of Service. We're going to talk about the functional movement screen here. And then we also have some other resources, which I'll talk about here to get you through this process. What we'll be covering today: deep squat, hurdle step, inline lunge, shoulder mobility, active straight leg raise, trunk stability push-up, and obviously rotary stability. So the deep squat, here's an example of a score of 3 for the deep squat. Upper torso is parallel with the tibia or towards vertical. Femur below horizontal, knees are aligned over feet, dowel aligned over feet. Take a good look at this from side and front. Again, this is going to be a score of the deep squat in the functional movement screen of a 3, which is very good. The 2, upper torso is parallel with tibia or towards vertical. Femur is below horizontal, knees are aligned over feet, dowels aligned over feet, heels are elevated. So we elevate them up on the testing tool there, and they can still get in a good position. That would be the score of a 2. And then the score of a 1, tibia and upper torso are not parallel, femur is not below horizontal, knees are not aligned over feet, lumbar flexion is noted. The athlete or individual receives a score of 0 if pain is associated with any portion of this test. A medical professional should perform the thorough evaluation of the painful area. So if we have some pain, we refer them out to where they need to go. Obviously, a score of 1 is associated with this. They have some issues going on. Hurdle step is the next one. This is a 3, great score. Hip, knees, and ankles remain aligned in the sagittal plane. Minimal to no movement is noted in lumbar spine. Dowel and hurdle remain parallel. So the side view and the front view. Good alignment across. A number 2, we're missing one. Excuse me for that. We'll have to come back and hit that. So hurdle step 3 here. A number 2, I think, let me kick out real quick and get the number 2. I apologize. But I'm going to go ahead and hit this number 3, as we just talked about this alignment. And I'll hit number 1. I'll come back and hit and catch you back up with that. Number 1, contact between foot and hurdle occur. You automatically get a score of 1. Loss of balance is noted. The athlete receives a score of 0 if pain is associated with any portion of the test. A medical professional should perform a thorough evaluation of the painful area. I'm going to slide out of here and get you number 2. So we have it over here on the this other document here. So in order to get a 2, the following conditions must be accomplished. Alignment is lost between hip, knee, and ankle. So if you have a slight deviation over here, if you have a slight deviation, you still make it through the movement, but a deviation, you're going to give them a 2. Movement is noted in the lumbar spine, so if you have a slight shift, obviously this is pretty accelerated or pretty exaggerated, I should say. And down, hurdle do not remain parallel. So if you see this slight shift right here, you're probably going to go up to, obviously he's hitting the hurdle, so he automatically gets a 1. But again, a 2 is if you see any deviation. So I want to get you queued up on that. I'll come back and fix this later. I'm just going to restart this whole training process. So we'll keep you moving through here. So inline lunge is another portion of the testing. Dowel contact is maintained. Dowel remains vertical. No torso movements noted. Dowel and feet remain in sagittal plane. Knee touches board behind heel of front foot. You see this right here. Good alignment, good posture, no forward lean. And again, no loss of balance. Knee makes contact easy. So that would be a score of a 3 for the inline lunge portion. A number 2, the score of number 2 for inline lunge, dowel contacts is not maintained. So if the dowel does not maintain contact to the back of the head, dowel does not remain vertical, movement noted in torso, obviously forward lean, down feet do not remain in sagittal plane, knee does not touch behind heel of front foot. So there's a couple things. Forward lean here, big time. And you want to just, you want to observe this from the front and the side to make sure that these patterns are complete and require number 2 to be given. So, and number 1, loss of balance is noted. The athlete or in an individual client received a score of 0 if pain is associated with any portion of the test. A medical professional should perform a thorough evaluation again. If there's a painful area, we'll refer them out. Obviously, you can see this person's falling and we've got a whole lot going on. Dow's not in a good place, all over the place here. Shoulder mobility, fists are within 1 hand length. So we measure, obviously, the hand from the palm to the fingertips. We'll get that distance, maybe it's 8, 10, whatever it may be. And then you have right to left. You have, if you're testing on the right side, the fist comes up over and behind the head, and the left fist comes up, right in between the shoulder blades. And if that person is within 1 hand length, you get a score of 3. And you'll do this bilateral, so you do it right to left as well. The fist score of 2 are within 1.5 hand length. So you see here, this person is about, this is a score of 2 because it's 1.5 hand lengths. So that's how you score out for the 2. And then the 1 is fists are not within 1.5 hand lengths. So obviously there's a big gap. It's over 1.5, and you score them a 1. And obviously, fists are not within 1.5 hand length. The athlete will receive a score of 0 if pain is associated with any portion of this test. A medical professional should perform a thorough evaluation of the painful area. And then we'll also do, with the shoulder mobility, you perform this cleaning test bilaterally. If the individual does not receive a positive score, document both scores for further references. If there's pain associated again within the movement, give them a score of 0 and perform a thorough evaluation. Obviously, you may refer them out to a specialist. So if you're having pain when you go through this clearing test, is you reach the hand over on the other shoulder, raise it up to face level. You want to keep that hand placed flat on the shoulder. If there's pain when you move the elbow up or down, if there's pain in the shoulder, then we'll refer them out. We do both, again, bilateral right to left. After straight leg raise, vertical line of the malleolus resides between mid-thigh and AS. The non-moving limb remains neutral position. Obviously, you're going to do a measurement and find where this vertical line is, and then go from there. Vertical line of the malleolus resides between mid-thigh and joint line. The non-moving limb remains in the neutral position. So if you look at the difference between the two, obviously you get it way up higher. You're going to make sure that obviously this foot doesn't rotate or move. You can actually take your left hand and put your left hand on his toe, so right side his toe, so it doesn't have any movement there. And obviously the leg is not raised as high here. There's a score of a 2, and then obviously 1, vertical line of the malleolus resides below the joint line. The non-moving limb remains in a neutral position. The athlete will receive a score of 0 if pain is associated with any portion of this test. A medical professional should perform a thorough evaluation if there is any pain. Obviously, you see this here. There's not a whole lot of range of motion here. Trunk stability push-up. The body lifts is 1 unit with a no lag in the spine. Men perform a repetition with the thumbs aligned with the top of the head. Women perform a repetition with thumbs aligned within the chin, or beside the chin, I should say. The number 2, the body lifts as a unit with no lag in the spine. Men perform a repetition with the thumbs aligned with the chin, where the women typically start. Women then the thumbs aligned with the clavicle. So then they'll keep moving down until they can perform this properly. And then number 1, Men are unable to perform a repetition with the hands aligned with the chin. Women are unable with the thumbs aligned with the clavicle. The athlete receives a score of 0 if pain is associated with any portion of the test. The medical professional should be perform a thorough evaluation in that painful area. And then spinal extension clearing test. Spinal extension clearing test by performing a press up in the push-up position. If there is pain associated with this motion, give a 0 and perform a more thorough evaluation or refer out. If the individual does receive a positive score, document both scores for further references. So this is a clearing test. Have them push up in the push-up position. Again, if the client feels any type of pain in the spine, you're going to refer them out. And then a rotary stability test performs correct unilateral repetition. So if you see this, when you're aligned, when you line up your left, so this gentleman's left thumb is touching the board, and left knee is touching the board, and left toe is touching the board. If the gentleman stays over the board and doesn't have any deviation, extends out, comes back and touches the knee with the elbow, you'll give him a score of 3. You really got to watch this. You don't want any leaning in this position. A 2, perform a correct diagonal repetition. See this, this lady is over the board now. So she has her right knee touching the board, right toe touching the board, and then left thumb touching the board. So she goes diagonal, touches in the middle, extends out. If you don't see any deviation or shift, and they can perform this correctly, you'll give them a 2. And then a 1, inability to perform a diagonal repetition. The athlete receives a score of 0 if pain is associated with any portion of this test. A medical professional should perform a thorough evaluation. And then the spinal flexion clearing test, have them sit back on their knees. The spinal flexion can be cleared by first assuming the quadruped position and rocking back and touching the buttocks to the heels and the chest to the thighs. The hands should remain in front of the body, reaching out as far as possible. If there's pain associated with this motion, give a 0 and perform a thorough evaluation or refer out. If the individual receives a positive score, document both scores for further references. So that was taken through a quick reference. Now we do have, there's FMS. I'm still logged out, but we do have another reference. Let me get back to this and see if we can get you back in. I'm going to show you where functionmovement.com. We do have a sign in. You'll go up here. It's transformation, and then 2505 to transform. Yeah, it logged me out while ago. But once we go inside here, step back one more. Let me. Okay. Once you do sign in, you'll go over to home, and there'll be a drop down where you can go to videos to go to this whole FMS system, and you'll be able to watch the video and go through the PowerPoint with the FMS. And once you do that, then you can correlate this. I'll have you watch that portion first, or you can watch this portion first. Regardless, you're going to go a little bit more in depth in the training of the FMS. You're going to use the functionmovement.com area or platform for you to get more resources, because once you sign in, it'll go to my information. And once like I said, it's locked me out, but we'll get it lined up. Once you go inside there, you'll have access to a training video. I'm going to work you through that whole module. You're going to watch the videos and give you more understanding of how to perform the FMS. It's going to how to grade the FMS. And then obviously this PowerPoint you're watching here goes through a quick overview. Once you finish all this, then we're going to take you out on the floor and let you perform some of the FMS yourself, and then test other individuals on staff, including other fit pros, interns, and then once you feel comfortable, we'll pass you through this portion of the training.